Upon hearing the shocking news, Park Jung-jae's face immediately changed and his eyes suddenly flashed with a dangerous glint. What? A plane crashed into the headquarters? Assistant, are you sure? The assistant quickly confirmed, his voice serious but unable to hide his excitement. Yes, it's confirmed, sir. The information is 100% accurate. The chairman has just said goodbye to life, which means you will become the new chairman of the company. At that moment, the television was also reporting the news. According to the report, the ill-fated plane, which had departed from Los Angeles, was hijacked by 2 terrorists and ultimately crashed into the famous company headquarters. Police sources revealed that the 2 women responsible were not only beautiful, but extremely dangerous, with escapability that was second to none. After causing the tragic plane crash, which resulted in numerous casualties, the 2 disappeared without a trace, leaving authorities scrambling to locate them. After reading the news, instead of shedding a tear like the other well-behaved relatives, Park Jung-jae smiled brightly and shouted excitedly, "Great, great! I've been waiting for this day for so long." Then, his inner excitement soared. At first, I thought I'd have to wait another 20 years before I could have a chance to take over, since that old man refuses to go down, still hanging on. But who would have guessed fate would send a lost plane right to the headquarters? Right now, I'm just like a fisherman benefiting from a lucky catch. No need to fight, no need for schemes. Just wait for the plane to crash in the right spot, and that's it. I really have the luck of the gods. Beside him, his assistant smiled flatteringly. Congratulations, boss. Congratulations. The company is now yours. Hearing this, Park Jung-jae's face lit up brighter than a sunflower in the morning sun. Wonderful, let's go. I can't wait another second. But just as the assistant was packing the suitcase, Park Jung-jae turned around, lit a cigarette, and tried to look menacing while staring off into the distance. Chen Yuan, just wait. When I become the chairman, I'll come back like a king and I'll slap you in the face myself. Let's see if you can handle it. The assistant winked and said with a mysterious tone, "Boss, this is really urgent. You need to get back to South Korea quickly to inherit the position of chairman of the company. Don't leave the chair empty for too long or it'll gather dust. As for that Chen Yuan guy who dared to slap you in the face, if you're too angry to swallow this, I've got a quick solution for you. There's a dark website in the underground world that specializes in hiring global assassins. As long as you have the money and you've got enough to light up the whole city, you can just post an offer and someone will pick up the job to take care of your enemy fast." After saying this, the assistant sneered, pulled out his phone, and accessed a site called shadowing. Park Jung-jae took the phone, curious, and asked, "I've heard about shadowing before, but I didn't know how to get into that shady corner of the web." The assistant stood next to him and immediately pointed to the screen, explaining, "Boss, don't worry. A few days ago, I accidentally found the secret method to access it. All you have to do is post an assassin request, and you won't have to get your hands dirty. Money will take care of the hard work." Park Jung-jae had never felt anything like this before, and he was a little scared. "I've done a lot of shady things before. I've used my connections to lock enemies up in prison, sentencing them to 10+ years behind bars like it was nothing. I've personally broken someone's leg and acted like nothing happened. But murder, that's a whole different story." But as soon as he thought about Chen Yuan's annoying face, the guy who had humiliated him in front of everyone and made him feel so embarrassed, he just wanted to disappear. His hesitation vanished. The anger he felt about what? The scene where he was flirting with the young lady from the Yi family, Yu Ling Shuang, and somehow both of them ended up with that guy. Not to mention the smear campaign he ran on social media. He thought for sure Chen Yuan would cut him off after that, but the guy just stood firm. On top of that, all the negative news about me got wiped clean. Thinking about it, Park Jung-jae's eyes suddenly sharpened, cold like an ice cube dropping into a cup of tea, and his blood began to boil with rage. Without a second thought, he transferred 100 billion into his shadow account as casually as if he were buying groceries. Then he imagined Shen Yuan running for his life, and Park Jung-jae burst into laughter like a madman, feeling so rich he almost couldn't stand it. "Chen Yuan, you better write your will. With this kind of money, I'm sure it'll stir up the international assassin community. Let's see how far you can run." From now on, Chen Yuan would be dodging bullets every day, sleeping in closets at night, afraid of assassins hiding under his bed. After seeing this mission, some of the assassins sat back, shaking their legs and sneering, nearly bursting out laughing. Holy shit, who's brain dead enough to come up with this? A reward of only 1,500,000 shadow coins for Lim Yong-won's head? They might as well save that money to buy a villa. Assassinating Lim Yong-won. This mission's difficulty is beyond even SSS level. You might go in and never come back. Are you kidding me? Even the #1 global assassin, Weishaman Ku, threw in the towel. Mr. X, the former leader of the Darknet, had tried it too, and now he's hiding in fear, constantly worried that Lim Yong-won is coming for him. Who in their right mind would willingly risk their life for that amount of money? The other assassins shook their heads and sighed. This is truly a joke. Endless Apocalypse tried to assassinate Lim Young-won and failed miserably, then went home, curled up under the covers, and cried. Those two famous assassin groups went even bigger, launching dozens of rockets and completely destroying the Madua district, yet Lim Young-won stood there like a statue, unscathed. And now, someone's offering just 1,500,000 shadow coins like they're hiring a beggar. At that, the entire group of assassins burst into laughter, spitting in disgust as if to show how utterly contemptuous they were. Park Jung-jae was still sitting there, waiting for a match, but the wait went on and on. The mission just sat there, abandoned, like a stale piece of bread no one wanted. Dan, what's going on? Why post a reward and then not have anyone claim it? Don't tell me they're scared, he muttered. At that moment, Chen Yuan had just opened his eyes. He hadn't even brushed his teeth or rinsed his mouth yet when Prosperity suddenly shouted, waking him up completely. Master, someone on shadowing just posted a 500 million reward, which is equivalent to 1,500,000 shadow coins to hunt your head. This mission could endanger your safety. Should I deal with it? I can get rid of it for you, nice and clean. Chen Yuan picked up his phone to check, his mind full of question marks. This is a thing now. Let's see who has the guts to do this. With that, Chen Yuan and Leslie got up and headed straight down to the basement, where the top-of-the-line computers were. He slouched into his chair, raised an eyebrow, and asked casually, who would be bold enough to put a price on my head? But honestly, how could anyone get past Prosperity with these little tricks? It scanned once, immediately picking up traces of the payment and the hidden IP address, then locked down on the target in a flash. Master, the payment task is from South Korea. The account is registered under the name of a major financial group. Based on the network trace, I've also locked the source of the mission to a large building. Please wait a moment, Master. I'm scanning global data to pinpoint the exact identity. After hearing this, Chen Yuan smirked slightly, then made a few sarcastic remarks to pass the time. No need. I've already figured it out. The Park Jung-jae Financial Group has money and a grudge against me. Who else could it be but the prince himself, Park Jung-jae? Just then, Prosperity reported the news from that morning. Master, at around 8 a.m., a passenger plane lost control and crashed directly into their corporate headquarters. Among the victims was the chairman, Korea's #1 tycoon. Upon hearing this, Chen Yuan froze for 3 seconds before shaking his head with frustration. Oh, the chairman of the group was killed by a plane crash? Unbelievable. His own family dies, and he can't even be bothered to attend the funeral. Instead, he's still in the mood to set up a reward for an assassination. This guy must be out of his mind. After that, Chen Yuan was still wondering whether he should return the favor when the shadowing system suddenly popped up with a new mission, fresh and hot, just like a dish ready to eat. The mission was to assassinate Park Jung-jae, a Korean national, with a reward of 2 million shadow coins, along with 3 pictures showing the perfect angle of his face. Chen Yuan squinted at the screen and asked Prosperity, did you post this? Master, it wasn't me. This mission is real. Someone else posted it, not be fooling around. Chen Yuan couldn't help but chuckle dryly. What a coincidence. It seemed like someone didn't want that prince to comfortably inherit his rich family's fortune. The rich world was just like those long soap operas. Internal power struggles were never short of drama. After thinking for a moment, Chen Yuan remembered Bai Chen. Since he had some free time, he add Bai Chen's name to the board too. I've heard he's been hiding out, right? Put a 100 million shadow coin bounty on him to make the lineup look good. Prosperity quickly responded, yes sir, I'll post the mission right now. As soon as the assassination mission on Bai Chen was posted on Shadowing with a massive bounty of 100 million shadow coins, the entire world of assassins was thrown into shock. 100 million shadow coins, which equals $58 billion, is enough money to buy an entire army. In less than 5 minutes, 10,000 assassins worldwide had already viewed the information. On the other side of the story at the financial center, Bai Chen was sitting in meditation at the Bai Yun Corporation in Maduro when he suddenly sneezed loudly. I was just sitting there, confused, not understanding why it felt like thousands of eyes were watching me. After a day of recovering, he praised himself. Thank goodness I brought the 100-herb pill. This pill is the result of hundreds of rare medicinal herbs. My injuries have improved a lot, but even with a miracle cure, it's not something that heals in an instant. Injuries to the tendons and bones will take at least a few months to recover. I'll need more rounds of acupuncture treatment before I'm back to full strength. Well, it's best to take it easy and not rush things. I'll wait until I'm fully recovered, then I'll deal with it. At that point, just hearing my name will make that kid Chen Yuan tremble like a leaf. At that moment, a loud knock echoed at the door, and just hearing it, there was a sense that something was off. Bai Chen, the medicine king, furrowed his brow and his voice dropped. Who's there? From outside, a sycophantic voice with a hint of nervousness called in, Master Bai Chen, it's me, Lai Tenkai. Bai Chen frowned, unsure what this guy was up to, but still lazily responded, come in. The door opened and Lai Tai Kai entered, his eyes filled with fake concern. Master, are you all right? I heard you were injured, and I've been so worried. Bai Chen waved him off nonchalantly, as if nothing in the world could shake him. It's just a small wound, nothing to worry about. A day's rest and I'll be almost fully healed. Lai Tai Kai asked the usual pleasantries, then quickly began to act flustered, adding more drama to his words. It's a relief to hear you're okay. But honestly, I never thought that old man Dong Suan would be so tough. He actually managed to hurt you. Now the whole world is talking about it. Bai Chen narrowed his eyes, a cold air starting to seep out. Talking about what? Lai Tai Kai felt a rush of happiness inside, but on the outside, he kept up the act as if everything was fine. They say your strength and medical skills are nowhere near Dong Suan's old man. Some even said you once refused to treat Mr. Y's granddaughter because you didn't have the skills to heal her. Your medical abilities are just lacking. As he spoke, Lai Tai Kai glanced at Bai Chen and thought to himself, I wonder when this old man will lose it. Bai Chen, the medicine king, turned dark as soon as he heard Lai Tai Kai's words. His face was like a storm cloud, and his killing intent was practically burning. Those damn little rats, fine. I'll accept losing to that old fool Dong Suan when it comes to strength, but to say I'm inferior when it comes to medicine? No way. That's something I won't stand for. The Medicine King Valley is the best in the world, sitting proudly at the top, not here to be a showpiece. And now, these trash outside dare to insult me. As he finished speaking, his anger shot through the roof. Bai Chen coughed violently, then spat out a streak of bright red blood. It was clear his internal injuries still hadn't healed, but he kept trying to act all cool and stoic. Lai Tai Kai stood next to him, his heart racing wildly, but of course he wasn't dumb enough to let it show on his face. Got him, he thought. Wait, is he coughing up blood? Is this old man about to die? Well, that's just perfect. Actually, before stepping into the room, Lai Tai Kai had been tipped off by someone in the underworld. The so-called Bai Chen, the Medicine King, was no longer just injured. He was now the target of a massive bounty on shadowing, with a reward so huge it was unbelievable. 100 million shadow coins, equivalent to 37.5 billion. That's enough money to build an entire city. And shadowing wasn't just some small-time dark web. It was the biggest black market in the world, a place where all sorts of assassins gathered. Everything from snipers in the desert to skilled killers hiding knives in dark alleyways. With that kind of money on the line, there would definitely be a whole bunch of assassins ready to risk their lives to take down Bai Chen. Lai Tai Kai stood there, his mind racing. At this sensitive moment, if I get involved with this old man, what if I get caught in the crossfire? My life could be ruined. But then, thinking about the huge reward, he wasn't scared at all. In fact, he pushed aside whatever conscience he had left. Wait, over $30 billion in bounty? Don't joke around. This money could buy an entire island, build a mansion, and even keep a bunch of sharks as pets. But hold on, I'm not an assassin. Doing it myself would be way too risky. Business is about using your brain, not your fists. The best thing to do is hire someone else to handle it. After a moment of thought, Lai Tai Kai forced a friendly smile, pretending there was no sinister plan in his head. He spoke in a warm tone, full of concern. Sir, please, just focus on resting and getting better. Once you're recovered, those fair weather people outside who laugh behind your back will pay dearly for it. If you need anything, just let me know. I'm happy to serve you 24/7. Bai Chen nodded, clearly pleased. All right, I'll write you a prescription. Help me gather some herbs. I need them urgently. After saying that, he took out some paper and carefully wrote down a list of herbs. Just reading the names would be enough to make any pharmacist faint from how hard they are to find. Lai Tai Kai took the paper and gave a half smile. Yes, of course, sir. Don't worry, I'll go right away. But inside his head, he was plotting something much darker. Heck, if I just had a little poison in his prescription, who knows? I might just get rid of him for good. He's loaded. Why not take advantage? If I play my cards right, I can make a fortune without getting my hands dirty. But then Lai Tai Kai quickly pushed that thought aside. No, that's not smart. Bai Chen's a master of medicine. Who could poison him? Putting poison in his medicine would be like dancing with a knife in front of Guangdong. He'd spot it in an instant, and once he does, there's no need for an assassin. He'd strangle me himself before I could even blink. No, I'm not that stupid. Sure, here's your translated text. Exactly, why bother doing anything myself when there are plenty of assassins out there, all eager to earn 100 million shadow coins? All I need to do is accidentally reveal Bai Chen's address on shadowing. That way, the international assassins will come straight to his door on their own. I won't have to lift a finger and I can still achieve my goal without wasting any effort. Even if they fail to kill him, no one will ever know I was involved. I can attack when needed, defend when necessary, and sit back and benefit from it all. A smart person operates like this, pulling the strings from behind the scenes, staying safe while being effective. In just 3 short days, Bai Chen, the Medicine King, recovered 50% of his strength. But even then, he didn't forget to ask Lai Kai to secretly gather information on Chen Yuan. However, when he was about to fully recover, Lai Kai kept pushing him, causing Bai Chen's pride to take a heavy hit. His teeth ground together in anger, and his rage flared up uncontrollably. Luckily, he didn't end up spitting blood. With all that accumulated hatred, Bai Chen decided to disguise himself and walk out the door, casually making his way around Chen Yuan's villa. The plan was clear. He needed to understand Chen Yuan's daily routine. The most important thing was to find out if that old man, Dong Xuan, was secretly protecting him. If necessary, I'll disguise myself as one of Chen Yuan's close friends or even as that old man, Dong Xuan himself. No one would ever suspect a thing. Standing still for too long was getting boring. Bai Chen started thinking about the time he'd been completely humiliated and forced to run away last time. His teeth clenched and he muttered, "Last time, I was careless. I didn't properly scout my opponent's strength and got too cocky. I didn't even prepare properly and forgot to bring my secret weapon, the violent soul-destroying needles. That's how I ended up taking a nasty fall, like slipping on a banana peel in the middle of the market." The violent soul-destroying needles were a top-tier weapon, forged from a meteorite that fell from outer space. These tiny needles packed a serious punch. They could pierce through a 20-centimeter thick steel plate with a single strike. On top of that, I had coated them with a super powerful poison that was practically unbeatable. If someone got stabbed by one, they wouldn't even need a doctor. A single scratch, and within a minute, the victim would be gone without being able to say anything to anyone. The poison was so strong that I didn't even dare keep the needles in my jacket for too long. I was afraid of accidentally hurting myself and meeting my ancestors a little too soon. If I'd remembered to bring the violent soul-destroying needles last time, that old bastard Dong Xuan would be lying dead right now, and he wouldn't have had the chance to humiliate me like that. But whatever, failure is the mother of success. This time, I won't make the same mistake again. As Bai Chen waited for a few more hours, he finally saw the door to Chen Yuan's villa swing open. Stepping out from the house was none other than his sworn enemy, holding a black plastic bag, clearly on his way to throw out the trash. This was a golden opportunity, and Bai Chen's mind raced. Should I strike now? One move would be enough. Dong Xuan, the old villain, wouldn't even know what hit him. There were no guards, no one around. Why wait any longer? But then his thoughts began to waver. Wait, maybe I should wait until I'm fully recovered first. Right now, I'm only at half strength. If something goes wrong, I might ruin everything. Just as Bai Chen was caught in this internal struggle, life didn't give him the chance to hesitate. Suddenly, an overwhelming sense of danger washed over him, like ants crawling all over his skin, and every hair on his body stood on end. Danger? This is serious. The level of danger is no joke. And then a large sniper bullet fired from a heavy sniper rifle shot straight toward his head at the speed of light. With lightning-fast reflexes, Bai Chen tilted his head and narrowly avoided it, escaping by mere inches. Sweat poured down his face, even though the weather wasn't hot. But before he could even catch his breath, the real nightmare began. From all directions, gunshots rang out. Bang, 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 bang. After the sniper shots from other marksmen fired at the same time, each one aimed directly at Bai Chen, blocking every possible escape route. He immediately relied on all his advanced dodging skills, rolling, crawling, jumping to the left, dashing to the right, twisting and weaving through the hail of bullets. But sadly, his strength had only recovered 50% and he wasn't fast enough to dodge everything. Although he managed to avoid 5 bullets, the last one hit him in the chest. Blood sprayed out like a slow-motion scene from an action movie. The blood from his shoulder ran down, and Bai Chen couldn't even understand why, after planning everything so precisely. He'd even disguised himself so well that he almost didn't recognize his own reflection. He was still targeted for assassination. The pain wasn't just physical, it sparked an explosion of fury. Bai Chen's expression shifted from feigned calm to pure, uncontrollable rage. He ground his teeth and his eyes burned with a fiery intensity, as if he wanted to scorch the world. What the hell is this? Who dares shoot at me? You filthy cowards think you can play dirty? Fine. None of you will survive this. In the next instant, he forgot all about his disguise, revealing a murderous aura that was almost palpable. Activating his 3rd-gen genes, he switched them on instantly. In the blink of an eye, everything around him seemed to stretch. Time slowed down like a scene in slow motion. As soon as this overwhelming power surged through him, he spotted 6 snipers hiding, aiming to take him out. Within 0.01 seconds, he pinpointed their locations. Without hesitation, Bai Chen, the Medicine King, swung his right hand. 3 silver streaks shot out like ninja throwing stars. The 3 snipers, gleefully preparing to strike, never even had a chance to scream. They were hit dead center in the forehead with violent soul-destroying needles. They drop on the spot, swift and clean. The last guy was terrified, his face going pale as he scrambled to find a place to hide, not daring to show his face. But the danger wasn't over yet. From the side of the road, a massive truck came charging out, its speed well over 120 miles per hour, heading straight toward Bai Chen, the Medicine King. Bai Chen was caught in a tough spot, but he snapped back to his senses and roared, "You want to die?" Then, a flash of silver shot forward at the speed of light, piercing through the truck's windshield and striking the driver's forehead. One shot, and he was out. No second thoughts needed. The problem was, the driver was out of the game, but the truck wasn't. It kept charging forward like someone had slammed the gas pedal and forgotten about the brake. And then the crash happened. A collision as violent as you can imagine. Bai Chen was sent flying over 10 meters by the impact, crashing into the wall of a nearby residential area, leaving behind a scene of total destruction. But not long after, Bai Chen managed to crawl back to his feet. His hair was a tangled mess, like a bird's nest, blood all over him. He looked so beaten up that anyone passing by would think he'd just gone through a fight with a whole mafia gang. Bai Chen, filled with rage, growled, "Damn it, if it wasn't for my old injuries and that bullet in my left shoulder slowing me down, there's no way I'd let a truck hit me." The 3 remaining snipers were completely freaked out, their hearts pounding like war drums. Before they could even try to fix their hair, Bai Chen raised his hand. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. 3 silver beams shot out like lightning, following a crazy, impossible trajectory. They struck precisely, hitting the 3 snipers who were still frozen in shock, mouths hanging open, unable to process what just happened. It was a quick, merciless kill. No hesitation, just pure precision. Bai Chen flipped his hair, using the moment to strike a cool pose. Even with all these injuries, you guys are still just a bunch of insignificant pests. But before he could fully enjoy his moment of dominance, a group of over 10 assassins suddenly jumped out, cutting into Bai Chen's spotlight. Each one looked at him like he was a walking mountain of cash, firing relentlessly as if trying to make the chaos even worse. Bai Chen, the Medicine King, immediately dove to the side to dodge the bullets and then bolted away, running for his life. As he dodged and panted heavily, his mind was about to explode in frustration. What the hell is going on? Why are there so many assassins? Damn, it's true. When the tiger's away, the dogs bite. And when a dragon's out of water, even the shrimp have the guts to nibble. If I wasn't so badly injured right now, I'd wipe all of you out in an instant. Just wait until I recover. One by one, you'll all pay for this. Then, Bai Chen scanned the area with his eyes as if trying to carve his vow into the minds of the assassins in front of him. But life was not going to be that peaceful. While running and gasping for breath, he heard the voices of the assassins behind him, sounding like a group of debtors spotting their creditor. Chase him down. He's badly wounded. This is our best chance to take him out. If we let him slip away now, we'll never get another shot. Hearing this, Bai Chen, the Medicine King, nearly fainted from frustration. I'm a Grand Master of the Medicine King Valley, with the power of a level 3 gene lock, and yet here I am being chased by a bunch of small-time thugs like they're hunting ducks. This is humiliating, extremely humiliating. But what made Bai Chen want to explode even more wasn't just that. Something even more unexpected happened, making him stare in disbelief. As he was running like he was being chased by demons, a kid sitting at the side of the road caught his attention, and it drove him crazy. The kid, clearly clueless about the world, was sitting right on the edge of the road, munching on a bag of fried potato chips, crunching away while watching him being hunted down. Not only that, but Chen Yuan's gaze also showed amusement, as if he were watching a play. The sight made Bai Chen, the Medicine King, so furious he wanted to crush the entire universe. How arrogant, truly, unbearably arrogant. Not only were there assassins chasing me, but even a little kid could leisurely snack on fries while watching me run for my life like it was some kind of joke. Oh my God, what is wrong with this world? I've never felt so humiliated in my entire life. And the worst part, the thing that left me speechless, was that kid's look of complete disdain. That stare was exactly the kind I've seen on his master's face. One that sees no one as worth anything, a look of pure contempt. Old man Dong Xuan, so you're the one behind this. This brat is truly your disciple. An arrogant act like this, father and son are clearly cut from the same cloth. But right now, my life is more important. I need to run. Chen Yuan, this brat, was definitely prepared for this, but did he really think he could trap me? Not a chance. With that thought behind Chen, the Medicine King quickly sprinted out of the encirclement faster than a gust of wind. Chen Yuan stopped eating his fries at that point, but his eyes still looked entertained. So weak, and you think you can show off in front of me? What a joke. Turns out you're just an old man, harmless and pathetic.